Hello all, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive. Welcome to Demystify the Divine, weekly readings and tools to connect. Really excited to be tuning in with you guys today. Hoping everyone is doing well. The energies are kicking. The energies are wonky. The energies are weird. So not sure if you guys have all experienced that as well this week, but it's been a wild ride. Definitely been a wild ride, and really excited to just kind of commiserate in that. All of our experiences are very different. I know that I say this, it's almost like weekly. I say it now that the last couple of years have been really rough for me. When that ball dropped for 2023, everything just cleared up for me. And it's not like it's still sunshine and daisies, wine and roses, but it's definitely lighter and brighter, and I can deal with it. And even with all of that, there's still heaviness that comes in and creeps in to the day-to-day. And I know through clients, there are so many clients right now that are not feeling light and bright and fancy free. They're still feeling, sort of the heavier energies of 2022. And I have a friend, she's like, it's the shit show, just keeps on shitting and showing up. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, that it's kind of where things are going to be at until, 2025, 2026. But it's really about not focusing so much on, not focusing so much on what we're feeling in the moment right now, focusing instead on what are we creating? Why are we having these energy shifts so much? Why is all of it happening? It's happening because it's being brought to our awareness, the things that need to shift and change. And when we can look at it from that perspective, when we can shift our why, it's not that it makes it easier to go through. It makes it have a little more purpose, a little more sense. And then you can feel like, okay, I can put some structure around it. It's not happening to me, or it's not personal, or I don't have to tear myself into 1,000 pieces to try and figure out what I did wrong or what I need to do differently. It's more about I'm stepping in right now and I'm recognizing this shift, this chaos needs to happen in order for the change to have room to be able to blossom, bloom, and grow. I was saying to a client today earlier, using the analogy of, it's always a garden, which is so funny because I don't want to put my hands in dirt or anything. I'm not about the worms. I love nature. I'll look at nature, but I'm not interested in getting all up in there, right? But yet here's the analogy. It's the garden. And what happens when you get a garden? You get one weed. You get a weed that chokes out all the rest of the life in there. We've got to recognize, hey, we're being shown this because it's a weed. And yeah, it's been in society for a long time. It doesn't make it any less a weed. It doesn't make it any less something that is inhibiting our progress. But you don't know what you don't know. So we're coming up with it. It's being brought to our attention so that we have the power to look into that and to say, I think this is something I want to change or shift or fix. I see it's a problem. I see it's an issue. And so here's what's popping up. So, I don't know where everyone's at. Feel free to throw in the comments what is going on in your world with the energies right now. And under that guise of how does it shift your perspective? If you're able to look at it and say, okay, I'm in it, I'm experiencing it, but it's not happening. It's not happening because of me, because of something I'm doing. It's happening because there is a major shift. And it's coming up in my radar because it's something I need to see. Something I've either been shoving under the rug or I just didn't know was there. And what happens once you know something? I always, talk about the Wizard of Oz. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Dude, I can't unsee ya. The whole fairy tale just went kersplat. But the fairy tale went kersplat because it needed to. Because we needed to bring the fairy tale into real life. We need to make it sustainable. We can't keep living in a fantasy land, right? So someone just said here, it's a teaching moment. It's exactly what it is. We are in a teaching moment, soul-wise. We're also in a big moment of connecting to our co-creative energy. You're a co-creator. I'm a co-creator. Not only do we co-create with one another, but we co-create with source. And it's time for all of us to step into that power, to own that. That's where we get out of victim mentality. That's where we get out of, why is all this shit happening to us? Why is all of this shit happening? Yeah, we can look at it from that perspective and then we just stay in the tornado. Or we can say, it's happening. What am I noticing about what I'm seeing? What is resonating with me about what I'm seeing? What is incongruent with my resonance about what I'm seeing? And then when you answer those questions, it's okay. Spirit, source, universe, high self, guides. What am I supposed to do with this? How do I make this shift? How do I make this change? Another thing that I was saying to a client earlier today, we as one person, we feel often like, what difference can I make? But you want to think about it as, I'm one pebble in a big pond. But when my pebble gets added to the pond, the ripples go out for miles. It affects the entire pond. So it's about, again, shifting your perspective. I come back to shifting your why. What is your why? I feel like I don't even need to go into a channeling. I don't need to do, that's our word of the week, our phrase of the week. What is my why? What is the why, the collective why? And then what is my why for this week? So we're going to hold to that, and I'm going to pull cards on that. What is my why? The other thing that I really want to say really bring into focus is this idea of co-creation. A lot of people, when they sort of get introduced to this world, right? And I mean the metaphysical world, when they get introduced to all of these different things, we're like wide-eyed, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, because the rest of the world certainly didn't, well, for some people it did get thrown in their laps, but for most people it was a big surprise, right? It was just kind of like yeah, I look at it like I've been given a choice: stay in the comfortable or leap into the unknown. Exactly. That's what it is. Life is boring if we just sit around and when we know what is coming, when it's predictable. It's boring, right? We're here to co-create. We're here to step in and do things differently. We're here to do things differently. And so I forget what train I was on there, but the co-creation piece, we all need to recognize that it's not about victimhood. We all came here. We all, whether you want to say I chose it or I was, forced here, whatever, we all have the choice to show up every day in the ways that we choose to show up. There's no pie in the sky that's dictating to us, you've got to do this and you've got to do that and you've got to do the other thing. It's, here's what there is to interact with. How will you choose to interact with it? And taking it that step further with the co-creation process, you're a spark of the divine. So if the divine created all this, and you're a spark of the divine, which means you're part of the creator, you're playing a role in what is being created. So every thought, every intention, every action, every little baby step that you take, every choice you take to not make a choice or to make a move that you don't take, is creating your reality and creating the collective reality. So let's not just pie in the sky surface talk about this. Let's really take a minute to breathe into what that means for you. If I have the power to create my reality and I look around at what my reality is right now, am I happy with what I'm creating? Am I learning something from what I'm creating? What is my why? I encourage everyone this week to take the opportunity at different levels in your life, kind of taking a look at all the different sections, in your life, and really coming to terms with, what is my why? Because when you know your why, you can shift what you're creating for yourself. And again, you as one person, Maybe you think you can't make a huge difference in the world with all the stuff going on, but you're a pebble in the pond, and that pebble has created ripples. So you do make a difference. It does matter what you do. It does matter what you're co-creating. And it's not just that we're co-creating with source, we're co-creating with one another. I feel like I'm preaching. I'm like tisk-tisking, but I'm not pointing fingers because I'm feeling this for myself as well. You know, here's the thing about channeling, guys. There are many different ways to channel, and I'm always in a space of channeling, and you all are always in a space of channeling, whether you recognize it or not. This isn't a deep channel, but I'm telling you right now, the angels are speaking through me. My guides are speaking through me to you guys right now. Our collective guides have something to say. So that's our homework for the week, is that co-creative energy, that co-creative process. What is your why? And really look at what I'm seeing out in the world. I have the choice to complain about it, to be fearful about it, to get caught up in the tornado of it, the emotional or the energetic or the mental or the physical or the financial tornado of it. Or I can choose to ask, what is it trying to show me? Where's the opportunity to shift and change in this experience? Whether it's collectively or individually, how do I choose to respond or interact with what's coming up? Super, super important. I'm going to go to cards right now. I don't feel like I need to actually like channel because I feel like we just got it. We got a big channeling going on. So, Keone is doing me a favor tonight. He's got a bunch of different things. He's multitasking today. So, I am just going to go to the time for the cards, and we're pulling cards. We normally have and there he goes, and he surprised me. So we do have our placard, and it's time for card pulling. So our tarot deck this week is the Shadowscapes Tarot from Barbara Moore. This was one of my very first tarot decks that I really connected to the point where I could read, because for a long time I didn't think I could read tarot. I was really focusing on like the memorization. I mean, it's so funny when I think about it today. Hi, Neil. When I think about it today, my very first deck, it was a Rider-Waite Smith tarot deck. And I had all these little Post-it notes connected to them because I was trying to memorize all the keywords, and I'd recorded it to try and listen to it in my sleep. And it was crazy. It was insane. And I was like, I just can't read tarot. I gave up 3 different times. I can't read tarot. When I got this deck, this was the second one that I got that I was like, oh my God, I can read this. Like, I understand. So really cool deck. Anyway, a little more than you wanted to know about Stacy, but there you go. It's like a behind the scenes look. All right, so we've got Ace of Wands this week. Ace of Wands is so beautiful because it's inspired action. And I feel like when I'm telling you what the message was that I literally just channeled, that all that stuff came through, it was inspired action. It was inspired speak. Wands energy is really deeply connected to our passions, to our purpose, to spirit, source energy. And this particular card, we've got this little family of foxes. What do we know about foxes? A lot of people think right away the scavenger part of them, sly like a fox, you know, that they're not necessarily honest. What I see with the foxes is I see an energy of resilience, an energy of they're cautious, they're opportunistic. And sometimes when we hear the word opportunist, we think negatively. It doesn't always have to be negative. It's the humans that bring the negativity into the mix, right? We can either choose to take it in the direction of the higher frequency, or we can choose to take it in the lower frequency. So this week, I'm feeling very much that along with that, what is your why? And you're co-creating, it's also understanding that you need to be open to listening to your own inner guidance and being willing to act on it. I'm hearing the word risk. Take a risk, be an opportunist. When something crosses your path, when an inspiration comes into your brain, take the opportunity to explore it. Don't let it pass you by. Don't let it sit in the box, waiting to be opened for some other time. Open, connect, feel into what is my purpose? What is my why? What is the inspired action that I'm being invited to take? Yeah, it might feel a little bit scary at times when we step into that space and we say, well, I'm getting the inspiration that I might need to leave my job because I might want to go and, I don't know, become a baker, bake cookies for a living and do a subscription service with that and mail order cookies. And I work in tech. How is that even congruent? Don't stop yourself from exploring the inspired action and take risk. I'm not saying you have to, quit your job in that moment and go be a baker. But what I would say to you is take the risk to explore the potential and the possibility of what that could become. Do a little bit of research on, other places that have done cookie baking. How would you stand out from the crowd? Who would your people be? Who would you serve? What would be your demographic? What would be what would get you the fulfillment, in doing that? So Ace of Wands and aces are pure potential. It's a 0. So ace is basically hey, here's a really cool thing that you can do if you choose it. Will you choose it? If you don't choose it, it's going to just float on to the next person who goes, oh yeah, that feels good, and I'm going to take the risk to do it. There's no right or wrong here. Just understand that this week we are being called to take more calculated risk around what we're receiving, because what we're receiving is legit. What we're receiving is inviting us. It's an invitation to explore how we can go bigger in our lives, how we can expand and grow where we're planted, or how we can jump out of where we have been planted for a long time. And it's time for something new. We can be opportunists, and we can be opportunists in that higher frequency and that higher vibration, because we're not making a choice willy-nilly. We're not being reactionary. We're being responsive. We're listening to source. We're connecting with source energy, and we're saying, yeah, give me some more of that. That feels really good. Wow. Okay. So our Oracle deck today is from a deck that I have had for years and honestly don't pull from very often. And I don't know why, because it always has really cool messages. It's an Australian author, Scott Alexander King. It's called Animal Dreaming Oracle. And so because it's Australian based, there's a lot of animals in this deck that I've never seen, I've never experienced. So I just think it's kind of cool, because it's kind of like me getting to visit a place I've never been and experience something new. Okay. Oh my God, I love it. So we got Raven Magic, and it's a 25. 25 is 7, and this is a 7 year. So the Raven coming through, talking about magic, and he's got his beak wide open. So he's chanting, he's divining, he's oracling, he's speaking, he's spelling, spell casting. All spell casting is a speaking intention. So the magic is in what you speak. The inspired action is taking advantage of the opportunity and adding your magic to the mix. I talk a lot about alchemy, alchemizing things. The Raven is beautiful because the Raven traverses both our world, the middle world, they call it, and the underworld. And so it can be in two places at once. It can be in those lower frequencies and still maintain its high vibration, and it can be in the higher frequencies and still be able to maintain the lower vibration required to be in physical form, to connect with those who are in that middle space. So the creature itself, its beauty is in the magic of its ability to straddle two worlds. We can learn a lot from this beautiful raven. We can learn a lot from understanding that we don't need to be afraid of the dark, the shadow. And again, it's about releasing fear. You know, when I say the word risk or calculated risk, how many of you had like your stomach jump? You go, oh, risk, like I'm afraid of that. How many of you, when you heard that, you were like, yes, I'm so ready. I've been ready for something. I just need to know what the right thing is, and then I'm jumping on it. You want to pay attention to these things, because risk right now, and this is a hot topic, especially here in the US with the economy being what it is, people are afraid. People are making choices out of fear. I encourage you to not be in a fearful place about it. Be in a more of a space of observance, like what we were talking about earlier. What is the why? What is it showing about our economy? What is it showing about our government? What is it showing about the state of our country at this time? And not to be so country specific, I mean, a lot of countries are going through a lot of economic stuff right now. So I feel like it can apply in many different ways. But it's an it's an invitation, it's an encouragement to really look at what is real, what is false. Is there really a reason to fear? What is the fear? And that's another thing too. And I feel like the raven helps us to get to that. The raven, again, isn't afraid to go down into the shadow in the underworld and say, what's the worst that can happen? Because when you can face what's the worst that can happen, suddenly you go, okay, so what's my plan for the worst that can happen? I can plan for that, and then that removes some of the fear. Do you want it to happen that way? Hell no. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants the worst that can happen. Or, you know, maybe there's a handful of wackadoos out there that are very focused on, you know, evil energy. Sorry, that was a very judgmental way of putting it. Individuals who choose that lower vibrational energy. But for the most part, people are not looking forward to that. They're not wanting that. They're not seeking that out. But they're feeding on the negativity that gets put out there. They're feeding on the fear. The raven says, okay, let's look at it. And then let's also look at what the highest scenario is, what the best case scenario is. And we can find somewhere in between, or we can shoot right up to that. You know, the raven can fly as high as can be, and as low as can be as well. So it's about you choosing, understanding you've got this magic within you. You've got these capabilities. You've got the opportunity to make the choice. And I'm going to encourage everyone, again, what is the why? You don't have to like dive deep into the depths. You don't have to lose yourself in it, but don't be afraid to look at the worst. What is my biggest fear? Because fear is what keeps us trapped. Fear is what keeps us limited. It keeps us stuck. It keeps us in the same loop. We can't break out of that loop. So what if we said, I might have those fears and I'm not letting those fears get to me. I'm going to instead apply my magic. Now that is something. That is calculated risk. And that is change in positive ways. That's success. So really feeling into that this week. And again, that 7, it's really standing out to me. We've got the ace, which is the 0. It's the pure potential aligned with our year number, which is the number of divinity and manifestation, co-creation. All comes full circle. I love this shit. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to quickly go into my happy place right now and come up with a couple of questions that we can all dive in and pull some cards on. And then I'll come back, and it looks like we've got a lot of people for lives today. So really looking forward to that. So going into my happy place, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. All right, guys. So I just need to say we are on YouTube and all the social media stuff. So if you like what you see here, feel free, please, to like, subscribe, and click the bell on my YouTube channel. Feel free to like and comment on Facebook. Anyone who's connected on Insta as well, feel free to comment. It helps to grow the channel. It helps to let other people know that there's this juicy goodness that is here to support you and help you. Would love it if anyone would share with, any family and friends that are open to this kind of guidance or really could use this. Not because it's all about me, it's really about you're helping me to fulfill one of my big purposes, which is to make myself available to anyone in the world that feels drawn to work with me. So it's all about that service and giving people more empowerment to be able to live their best lives. So appreciate y'all for doing that. Okay, so I actually wrote down 3 questions today. Normally I just do 2. We got 3 today because I really felt like that risk piece was important to talk about. So here are 3 questions for today. Question 1, what card energy will help me lean into my personal why? Sorry, couldn't even read my writing. Oh, I Neil. Are you coming to make your presence known? That's so nice. Yeah. So what card energy will help me lean into my personal why this week? So when you're looking at your personal why, maybe you're struggling a little bit. You're like, okay, I know what my why is in my career path, but I don't really know what my why is on a personal level, and I'm struggling to figure it out. Well, a card, see what the card has to say. So I think that's a really good question. Question number 2, what do I need to understand about my own personal soul raven that can help me face fear boldly? So as I was writing this out, I got the message that we all have a raven within us. We all have that energy that we can access. So I just called it a soul raven. So we're going to learn how to connect with our soul ravens today. What do I need to understand about my own personal soul raven that can help me face fear boldly? Question number 3, what card energy helps me choose healthy risk this week? All right, Keone, bring on the peeps. Hey, Indu, how you doing?
Hey, Stacy, how are you? We're missing Keone's beautiful face.
I know he's multitasking today. He's got a bunch of things that he's doing, and he's kind of just doing me a favor by actually even just being on the show and not getting a sub. So grateful to him, and we're working, and this personality is big enough to hold the entire show. So let's face it, right? So do you have your own card deck today, or do you want me to pull for you?
Well, you had 3 questions, so I have 2 cards. The third one you need to pull for me.
Okay, that sounds great. Let's start with your first card. What card energy will help me lean into my personal why?
Okay, the first card was actually from Keepers of the Light, Kyle Grace, and it was this card.
Oh, Kutumi, I love him. Cloak of Wisdom. Just read the bottom.
It says, you already know the answer you seek. trust what you know.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So, what card energy will help you lean into your personal why? You already know your personal why. So, it's just, I'm hearing for you, it's a matter of just allowing that to be the truth, like accepting it rather than trying to either self doubt it or talk yourself around it or say it can't be that simple or it can't really be that. It's got to be something else. It's really coming into that space of, okay, that's what I received. That's what I'm going with. So I feel like there's a lot of energy for you this week around accepting. It's funny because I'm saying, what's your why? And that's a question and questioning things. I'm hearing for you after that question, it's not questioning what you receive. It's asking the first question and then not asking another question after that, just being accepting of what you receive and moving through with that. I see you doing a lot of active meditation. So I know you crochet, so it's like sitting and crocheting and the mind just starts to kind of do its thing and there's like a Zen zone, right, that you can get into. I feel like that's what you want to be focusing on, things where you're not sitting and chanting Om Buddha style, but you are in a space of, I'm doing something that is calming to me and allows me to free my mind this week. Feeling like that's really important.
I need that.
Yeah, I feel like there's something coming up. You're going to get some insight in doing that is going to be a bit of a game changer for you in a positive way. It's kind of like receiving an answer to something that you've been questioning for a long time, and all of a sudden the answer's right there. And it's so, I don't want to say it's so simple, but it's so clear. So it'll be interesting to see how that comes through.
That way.
Yeah. All right. Question number 2. What do I need to understand about my own personal soul raven that can help me face fear boldly?
Okay, the card I pulled was from Goddess Guidance, Doing Virtue, and the card is Arakura.
Oh, cool. What does it say there? I can't read it.
Yeah, it says you are just getting started, so have patience with yourself and the process and do not give up.
Oh, well, it's a beautiful message. I'm really drawn to sort of the periwinkle color. So that purple, and of course you've got this beautiful, it's like tulip flower. I see there's a figure in there, but I'm actually, when you first pulled it up, I saw a dove. So peace doves for me are about freedom. So what do you need to understand about your own soul raven that can help you to face your fear boldly? You're already free. There's peace within you. So I feel like for you, it's really tapping into that peaceful state that sometimes you feel it eludes you because you're trying to connect with it with your head. You know, this happens a lot, and you and I think have talked about this to a certain degree in the past, because I'm so in my head all the time. I have to like create a different room in my heart so that I understand when I'm in my heart space, there's no questioning. It's not making a mental decision, it's making a heart decision. But there are many times people who are very much in their head space, they try to solve heart problems with the head. They try to solve soul problems with the head. So feeling very much that the energy of this card for you is tapping into the peace that's already within you. And that's not in your head. I feel like it's in your heart space.
I'm also drawn to the little, like the yellow thing here, the bright light.
Yeah. Tell me what it's telling you.
It's a whole lot of energy, actually. It's kind of pushing, propelling me forward, unfurling, coming into myself, growing. I don't know. The word that comes to me is with purity of thought.
Love it.
It's because of white color and the angel in there. But I love all the colors in there. It's the beautiful shades of purple, lilac, pink, and just gorgeous card.
Yes, and that periwinkle color is really connected to the higher chakras. So we're talking, higher than the 7 chakras. We're talking the 12-star chakra system. So you are talking about connection, deep connection with the archangels, deep connection with your guides, with other light beings, all of that stuff. So that's wonderful. I love that. I love your description. Purity of thought. So, and that makes a lot of sense, because what are we talking about? You're up here trying to solve these problems with this, But if you have purity of thought, it's easier to connect and to see what's actually going on versus the monkey mind, right?
Yep.
You get the monkey mind and the anxiety, and then there's no clarity. There's no purity in that. There's purity in, I recognize it's not a head problem, it's a heart problem. So let me go into the heart. Yeah, that's beautiful. All right, I'm going to pull a third card for you.
Thank you.
What card energy helps me choose healthy risk this week? Four of Pentacles. Interesting. So Four of Pentacles is a card of protection, but it's like protecting your treasure. So I want to say to you, it's protecting your physical body. It's protecting your energy. So when we're talking about what card energy helps me to choose healthy risk this week, it's making sure where are my energy levels at? Before I choose this healthy risk, I need to make sure that my energy levels my frequency is at a level that can support that risk. And if it's not at that level, what do I need to do to bring it up to that level so I can say yes to the risk? Because I feel the risk is healthy risk. It's a risk that you want to take. The universe is asking you to shift out of the norm, and that you are protected in doing so. So that's really, really cool. I love that. Indu, always a pleasure. So great to see you today. Do we have the hand? Yep, we got the hands. Hi, Raiku.
Thank you, Stacy. Thanks, Neo.
You got blessed with Neo coming into the mix. I love it.
Yes, ma'am, we sure did.
All right, enjoy your week. Lindsay, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing all right. No complaints at all. Are you going to pull some cards for yourself, or do you want me to pull for you today?
Yeah, I have my deck here.
Awesome. Let's do it. Let's do it. So what card energy will help you to lean into your personal why?
Let's see. 9 of Swords.
Oh, okay. So for you, there's a lot. Didn't you get that last time too? Didn't you get a 9 of Swords or a 10 of Swords or something?
I can't remember last time I came on, but I actually pulled something for. Oh, it was in to your last. It was for last week. I didn't come on last week, but I pulled myself later and I got 9 of Swords.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, the 9 of Swords is interesting, especially when we're talking about leaning into your personal why. 9 of Swords really recognizes the heavy sorrow that we can feel when we are too caught up in our heads. It is I want to say the living nightmare. But the thing about the living nightmare is that we have choice. We have say over what we choose to put our focus to. So I'm feeling like for you, it's when you're leaning into your personal why, it's recognizing I'm leaning into the why so that I don't have to feel sorrow and suffering anymore. I don't want to feel rejected and dejected. I don't want to feel all of these things. I want to feel empowered. So knowing my personal why is actually going to give me the empowerment. So I feel like the 9 of Swords is an end to the hamster wheel that we get caught on, right? And I feel really strongly that that's what's coming up for you around that.
Okay.
Second card. What do you need to understand about your own personal soul raven that can help you face fear boldly this week?
7 of Wands.
Okay. So what I love about 7 of Wands, and I think it's really fitting that we're talking about the soul raven to help you face fear. 7 of Wands typically is read as a card of defense. It's the idea of, oh my God, people are out to get me, so I'm on the defensive. I'm not shooting the first shot, but I'm on the defensive and I'm ready. There's another interpretation that I have been receiving through a couple of different decks of cards that has really given me a different perspective on it, and I feel like it's very appropriate to what you're going through. Rather than seeing it as needing to be on the defensive, it's more recognizing I'm standing here with something to offer. And all of these people with these wands, I kept saying swords, sorry, I know it's wands. All of these people are coming to me with their wands. And it's not because they're trying to burn me with their wands. It's not that. It's that they're coming to light their wand with my light. And it's not from the place of I'm an energy vampire and I'm trying to suck you dry. It's more from the perspective of I see your light, I see your wisdom, I've come here to listen to what you have to say and to share in some of that light, so I can take some of that back with me and be able to live my life well and to spread it out into the world. So what do you need to understand about your own personal soul raven that can help you face fear boldly? It's choosing to see people not as coming at you. It's choosing to see people as, why are they showing up in my space? Because there's something I have that they need. And they want some of my light. They want some of my wisdom. There's something coming up with you around work where there's somebody that keeps coming at you about something. And you're just like, what more do you want? Like, I've given you everything. It's shifting the perspective and understanding what you're giving them. They keep coming back to you because that's not actually what they need. They're not, either they don't know what it is that they need, they just are drawn to you for some reason, or they're afraid to ask. So I feel like whoever this person is that keeps showing up in your path, it's maybe sitting down and having like a convo, you know, saying, you know what, like, I'm on my 5-minute mental break. You know, come and, you know, let's sit and let's have a coffee sip together. And, you know, what's going on in your world today? You know, what's going on with your kids? Or, you know, what's happening? You know, come up with something that isn't work related. And I feel like that's going to open the flow for this person to finally express what it is that they're looking from you. Looking for from you. That's what I'm trying to say. Looking for from you. Because right now you're looking at it and you're going, I don't know what more I can do. I don't know what more I can give you. Like, I've shown you everything. It's because they need something else, but they either don't have the wording to ask for that, or they're afraid to ask for it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, card 3. What card energy helps me choose healthy risk this week?
Let's see. Ace of Swords.
Oh, so we have inspired action and you have inspired thought. So when we are talking about healthy risk, is understanding that I can choose to see this opportunity, whatever this risk is that's presenting itself to me. I need to see it with a fresh mind. I don't need to come at it from what's been done in the past. It's not a research project of how did other people do it in the past. It's more of an intuitive, okay, let me close my eyes and see what I'm receiving intuitively around this, and be open to receiving whatever comes through. You know, it's if you receive a symbol, draw the symbol, even if you don't know what the symbol means, and then you can do research on the symbol, right? You don't necessarily have to do research on that. How do I bring this into the world? Because you're going to receive that intuitively. Wow, he is just extra special today. I'm getting like fur all up in my nose, on my mouth. Also, what I'm getting for you is there is an opportunity that's coming up. I don't feel like it's happening this week. I feel like it's right at the beginning of next week that it's popping up. And the opportunity is going to be one, it's small on the grand scheme of things. It's not an opportunity that's going to like change your life. But I want to say to you, it's an opportunity that is going to be something that you wouldn't normally seek out, but now that it's presented itself, it's kind of a why not? This might be kind of fun. And I feel like for you, there's somebody that you're either going to have this interaction with, or someone you're going to meet when you're doing this thing, when you say yes to the opportunity that's going to be significant. It feels like meeting somebody that's going to become part of your inner circle in some way. So beginning of next week, I feel is kind of the energy when that shows up.
Is that work related or not?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I'm kind of getting like a blending of it's not clear. So it could be someone. What I would say to you is maybe you have a friend at work that's a really good friend that also is a personal, like connected to your personal life as well as your work. Kind of has that energy where there's a little bit of both.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on today. I hope you got what you needed, and sending you lots of love.
Thank you. You too. Have a good evening.
All right. See you later. Stacy D, how are ya?
Hey, how's it going?
Going just grand and dandy. How about you?
pretty good. It's been a busy day, that's for sure. So I'm like, oh, yes, good to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, just to kind of relax and yeah, I feel you. It was a busy day for me too. Just a lot of like random stuff kind of popping in. You know those days where things just get hijacked. You've got the one plan and you've got it planned out perfectly, and then there's all sorts of stuff. The universe is like,
Oh, universe.
Exactly.
But I saw your announcement about the free access to Ignite Your Wings, and that is super exciting. So I've really enjoyed it, and I think that'll be a really great way for other folks to see how awesome that whole service is. So that's exciting.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, I totally forgot I was supposed to talk about it. So thank you for doing that.
Sure.
I love it. And I'm thrilled that you're enjoying it, because there's a lot of love that goes into that. There's just, I enjoy creating all of the content. It's so much fun. So
it's a magical place, and so many times I'm like, you can't make this shit up. So
and you wouldn't believe, I'm going to tell you a secret. I record all of this stuff months in advance because I am kind of OCD about that I'm like, okay, I want to always make sure that I've got plenty in there, because you never know when something comes up, or I might want to go on vacation, or, like you never know. So I always want to make sure. And when I rewatch it, because once it comes through me, I don't remember any of it. So I'll rewatch it with you guys. And I'm like, oh my God, like, how did I know that? Like that was like right to the point, or right to the point. Like it was amazing. So yeah, I enjoy it too, because I forget that I'm a psychic sometimes. I have self-doubt, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, I don't know sometimes. And then I watch this and I'm like, okay, there was something speaking through me there, because that makes sense, and it makes sense to me. Well.
Yeah,
so,
very cool.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on. Do you have your own card you want to pull today, or do you want me to pull?
So I pulled 2 cards. I kind of showed up a little bit late, so I didn't hear like all of the intro. So I'm like, should I go with these 2 cards? Maybe I'll show you what I pulled, and then you can pull the third one.
Yeah, that sounds
the first one was from this Rebecca Campbell Work Your Light deck, which I found out about from you, and oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. But I got Don't Dim to Fit In.
Love it. That's one of my favorites.
Can you see that? It's like,
it's perfect. Don't dim to fit in. So what card energy will help you to lean into your personal why? So your personal why is really about, I don't give a fig for what anybody else thinks or says that I need to do or say or be. I just need to be who I feel at my core I need to be. I need to show up fully in that. Because when you shine your light, you're not going to be for everyone, but you're going to be for the people that need to seek you out, the people that need to find you. And if you're playing it safe, or you're dimming your light, those people aren't going to see you, because now suddenly you're not fully vibing at the same frequency, right? You're hiding in plain sight. This week, there's something coming up for you. I feel like a friend reaching out to you, and I just keep hearing hiding in plain sight. Either they're hiding in plain sight, or I feel like you're typically used to hiding in plain sight around this friend, and this is the time when you don't want to hide in plain sight. You want to just tell her exactly what you see and how you feel and what you know about it. It's important. I feel like I got chills as I'm talking about it. There's energy, strong energy, movement energy in you speaking your truth to this person. And I want to say to you, in the back of their mind, it's not like they don't know. They just, if you let them bury their heads in the sand, they're going to continue to just keep their head buried in the sand. But you speaking your truth and not dimming your light, I feel forces the issue, and it gives them something to look at. It's not confrontational. I don't feel like you're getting into a fight, or you're telling your friend, blah, blah. Not anything like that. But there's definitely an energy of, yeah, no worries. Can you still hear me? Okay, I can't hear you right now, but that's okay. I'll just keep talking. I feel like it's not like you're getting into a fight with your friend, but it definitely has the energy of, you're not used to me speaking like this to you, but I'm speaking like this to you, or I'm sharing this information with you in this way because I'm feeling called to, or because I feel like you need this energy to shift. and I want to see you shift. I want to see you thrive. I want to see you out of this situation. So here's what I'm being told to share, and here's how I'm going to help you through that. So something coming up around a friendship there, which is really important. Can't hear you. Okay. So I'm having a hard time reading that. I know it's from the Kyle Gray deck. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Romance and companionship. Awesome. Yeah. Angel guide. Okay. So what do you need to understand about your own personal soul raven that can help you face your fear today, or fear boldly? The romance and companionship, it's getting to know fear. It's making fear your friend. It's really coming into that when we talk about the soul raven. It's understanding, yeah, that raven traverses the world and traverses, into the darkness. And yeah, sometimes we don't want to have to go. Sometimes we're so used to going there that it kind of becomes by road and we actually defeat the purpose, because now suddenly we're just skimming through and not really taking a look at it. So I feel like for you, the romance and the companionship, it's making fear your friend. And one of the ways that we can do that is, I say sometimes that I have a saying, and I always screw it up because it's awkward about how you say it, but it's basically like sometimes we have to get comfortable with the uncomfortability of uncomfortability. We got to sit in the uncomfortable and get to the other side of it so that it's no longer uncomfortable. Or it might still be uncomfortable, but it's not unknown. And then we have an understanding of why it's showing up in our path. And then we can kind of move forward into what it is that we need to do with it. This is what I feel that card is saying to you, is make fear your friend. Sit with it, get to the other side of it, sit in the uncomfortability of it, face it boldly. You've been facing it boldly for a little while. I feel like what you're being invited to drop into this week is kind of like, I feel like you're going to watch this again. So when you watch the beginning, you're going to see the whole, they came through really strongly with like, what is your why, and co-creation, and get your shit together. That was kind of the gist of it. I feel like for you, you're going to be watching that and you're going to say, it's about completely shifting the perspective and the approach on the soul stuff, on the deep dive journey, because there is a part of you that's like, yeah, I've done it all. I've cleared it all out. Like, I don't know what more I'm supposed to do. Like, I don't know. There's going to be something that shows up for you this week that's going to tweak that in a really big way. And you're going to have an aha, and you're going to say, and there's a big release. And I feel that the release is coming from your solar plexus. Big release coming out through the solar plexus. So listen to the channeling at the beginning. I think I talked for like 10 minutes or something. So yeah, definitely listen to that. I'm so sorry I can't hear you. I know. You know what? I had that problem with my last client with Zoom today. The Zoom just decided to crap out after a whole day of Zooming and everything working fine. All of a sudden we lost sound, so we had to go to something else. But thank you so much for coming on live, sending you lots and lots of love this week. All right, we'll see ya. Marquetta, how you doing?
Hi, Stacy.
What's going on in your world?
Everything's going good. And this is my first time on, and I didn't know we were supposed to have tarot cards. I don't have any cards. The next time I'll definitely have some.
Oh, so, I love it. It's not that you have to have tarot. You are just fine. I am happy to pull cards for you. 100%.
Okay.
So don't worry about that. Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, what I'm going to do, since you don't have any of your own, I'm going to pull from tarot and from oracle. So that you get a bit of a taste of each of the cards. And I think that'll be really fun.
Okay,
so
great.
I'm going to pull tarot first. What card energy will help you to lean into your personal why this week? Oh my God, the aces are coming out like crazy. You got Cups. This is one of my favorite cards. So Ace of Cups is a card of initiation. And so this week, not only are we talking about leaning into your personal why, I feel that it's also a message for you about self-care and initiating yourself into different self-care practices. So I use this analogy all the time. Years ago, it was enough that we would go get a mani-pedi once a month and, you know, hang out with the girls or our guy friends, and or just by ourselves, and that would be enough to fill our love cup. That shit just doesn't cut it anymore. It's just not there. So for you, I feel like what you're tapping into is understanding you have so much more potential to fill that love cup in a deeper, fuller way that allows you to experience the joy that you give to others at the same time that you're giving it. But you've got to be open to exploring the why. You know, why do I feel more drained? Why are these things that I used to do not working anymore? And what is it about me that has shifted and changed so powerfully? Maybe it's that I'm trying to fill it with something that's not enough. Like it's not, I want to say the car that needs the ultra instead of the regular unleaded, right? But you still need the regular unleaded in it, thinking that's going to be enough. So I'm hearing the word or the phrase spoil yourself this week. Yeah. Spoil yourself this week. So really take time out, and don't do it just once, do it twice. Okay. Take 2 specific times this week to make it about you, all about you. Do something really luxurious, maybe call a friend and go do something that you normally wouldn't do or you would normally save for like a special occasion. Today is a special occasion. You're breathing, so let's do it, right?
Okay. Yes.
Definitely feeling that. Okay. What do you need to understand about your own personal soul raven that can help you face fear boldly? So I'm going to pull an oracle for this one. Oh, I love it. Magpie, balance. So helping you to face fear boldly, what I'm getting when I'm tapping into your energy is you're a little bit like me. We can tend to be on the extreme ends. When we get triggered or when we get activated, it's I'm either all in or I'm all out. And this card is saying, no, we need to not necessarily find the happy medium, but we need to be comfortable swimming in the gray areas. And I feel like for you, that's what is really coming up around that facing fear boldly, is saying, okay, I can face it boldly by not pushing myself into it all the way, or not standing as far away back so that I'm not even considering it. It's, I'm going to dip my toes in the water and I'm going to see what that feels like. And as I get used to the temperature, then I might put my whole foot in there. And then as I get used to that temperature, then I'm going to step in. So I feel like for you, the invitation is to give yourself permission to not take it slow, but to take it step by step. I feel like that's really important. Something's coming up for you this week as well around something that's taking something step by step that's separate from this. Feels like a project that you've been working on that I keep seeing you like, you work on it for a while and then you put it away for a long time and then you kind of come back to it. But every time you come back to it, you feel like I have to start over because I forget what the path was, or I forget what I was originally leaning into. I want to say to you this week, step by step means not to stop and start anymore. It's just saying, okay, I'm committing to completing this and I'm going to do it step by step. And I'm not going to allow anything else to get in the way of the completion of this. And I feel like it's the kind of project that you can get done in a couple of days. I don't feel like it's something that you're going to be doing forever in a day. But it is a matter of just giving yourself permission to step into that, to sort of lean in. So that's really cool. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Card number 3. What card energy helps me choose healthy risks this week? Oh my God, girl. So you got the Fool, which is another 0. So we're talking about that potential. You are stepping into an energetic period of time in your life where it is about the newness. And you want to think about it in terms of, I know it sounds cliche, but the blank canvas that has nothing on it. And you get to say, what does this canvas want to become? What do I want it to look like? What colors do I want to use? Do I even want to use colors? Maybe I want to use a different type of, media art on there. Maybe I want to sing to it and then paint over the sound that is on the canvas. What does sound look like? What does taste feel like? What does vision smell like? Right? Like it's playing with all of the senses and experiencing them in different ways. I feel like for you, you're really getting ready to spread your wings and fly. But you've got to get out of the idea that you still have a lot that you've got to prepare. If that makes sense. It's kind of like saying, I'm ready. I can do this. I just need to take that step forward. Yeah.
Yes.
Huge stuff. Girl, 2 zeros. 2 potentials. I mean, that's huge. I love that. And your magpie, the balance is a 27, which is actually 9. Endings, conclusions, resolution, so that you make room for the new that's coming in. So yeah.
Yes.
Lots of energy for you in that. Love that for you.
Great. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. So thankful to have you on today and contributing and sharing. We do this every Wednesday, so we'd love to have you.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Enjoy your
Bye.
week. See ya.
You too. Bye.
Oh, can't hear you, Keone. You're on mute.
Oh, I was saying sorry. I hit the button so fast. We don't have time to pull any cards. Everybody, please remember, come on live and you'll be sure to get in. Sorry for the card pulls that we didn't get to, especially for our longtime watchers. A couple of comments I did want you to see, though, is Melissa said, my friend Donna is watching tonight, Stacy.
Awesome.
That was pretty cool. Melissa said the Raven was when you were talking about the Raven, she said the Raven was in my card pull last night. I pulled a medicine wheel.
Medicine wheel. Oh, the medicine wheel. Whenever you pull the medicine wheel, it's just such a delicious message. Oh my God, he's crazy today. It's such a delicious message because the medicine wheel holds all of the elements, including spirit. So it's really an invitation to wholeness. So I love that. I love that the Raven came through, Melissa. That's awesome.
And then our dear friend Sue Rush said, the Raven is one of my spirit animals.
Oh, Sue, that's awesome. So the Raven was coming through to speak directly to you, giving you a specific message today. So I hope, Sue, that you really embrace your magic this week. I think that's huge. Really excited to see that.
Awesome. You got any exciting news to add at the end?
Actually, I really can't think of anything other than I just want to say thank you to everyone for showing up, for giving me reason and purpose to be doing this. It fills my heart to be able to connect with everyone in this way. So I'm sending everybody love from my heart to yours. Have the most amazing week, and we'll see you next time. Ciao.
Ciao.